These machine learning tools are not artificial intelligence, and yet we're all just deciding to call it artificial intelligence. Does AI exist? No. But like, fuck me, right? Anytime you have a whole bunch of data, it makes sense to develop some sort of computer algorithm to sort through that data, reduce that data, maybe apply like analysis tools to that data, because you can't look at all of it. There's too much data. The classic example is astronomy. You have your telescope, you point it at like, I don't know, 500,000 galaxies. You cannot physically with your eyes catalog and analyze 500,000 images. And they're not just images, they're usually like data cubes. So you'll have like a photo in whatever wavelength you're looking at, X-ray, radio, whatever. You would have maybe spectra information, you would maybe have velocity information, and you just can't. You take a small subset of the data and you analyze it the classical way, and then you train an algorithm on that small subset, and then you expand, you close the model once you have it trained the way you want it, and you just throw it at the big giant hunk of data. And like, it works beautifully. AI tools, that's what we're calling them, I guess, are really novel and interesting and useful in science. But when you hear scientists use AI, I would hate for you to associate that with an LLM, which is also a machine learning tool, but like, scientists are not shoving their data into ChatGPT and being like, analyze this data. It's like, oh, if I want to be a scientist, I should invest in using an LLM and learning how to be a prompt engineer. No, please don't. Stop using those. Those are algorithms that are trained to just keep your eyeballs on and also flatter your every move. That's not what machine learning in science is. Anyway, I do think the ubiquity of AI tools in science is like a thing that will happen. It's the one good thing we will get out of this AI bubble. So I think the people who know how to use them and understand the field of research they're in and use them appropriately can use them to do better, stronger, better, faster science, right? So this should be a good thing, right? No, it's not. If the Trump regime was interested in funding science and seeing Americans benefit from the result, would they have cut NSF funding, cut NASA funding, cut NIH funding, illegally arrest, detain, and deport people who are working in science labs across the United States? Fire the entire NSF board, nominate a Fox News contributor to be the Surgeon General, and then nominate an anti-vaxxer without a medical license, and then try again with a separate, different Fox News presenter instead of, a respected surgeon or doctor. This whole thing, there's this whole thing, there's this whole thing. Does this look like a man who understands science? There's more. And like, we could just go on all day and all day. Do you trust anything science related in any way at all coming out of this administration? Obviously, this is some sort of scam. The question is, what sort of scam is it? I really don't think you need to do more than watch the 2-minute ad on this website to realize these people have no understanding of science or science's role in technological innovation to even suspect that they know what they're doing. Here we have a list of 26 national priorities that have been identified. The issue is, of course, that this whole document was written by some garbage LLM chat box, and I spent way more time reading it than anyone involved in the creation of this document spent writing it. Like, it's just a nonsense list. Why not do some examples? Predicting U.S. water for energy. Predicting U.S. water for energy. Water availability is essential for expanding production and utilization of energy as well as the nation's health and security. Like, this is true, sure. But do you think the Trump administration actually cares about climate modeling? Because they cut NOAA's funding. They canceled their climate change research and called it woke garbage. Like, the whole thing got doged. Like, if they actually cared about AI modeling of climate and climate disasters, especially for national security, why would they specifically fire all the people who, were using AI to model climate and climate disasters for national security? Like, this whole team already existed, and they crushed it, they destroyed it. And honestly, this is how every single one of these 26 things reads. Fusion is hard. If we had it, that'd be good. I know someone watching this is gonna be like, Angela is so stupid. She's just mocking fusion. She doesn't understand how good it would be and how good the energy would be. And like, yeah, I do. Your malicious optimism will kill us all. To look at this and be like, wow, they're going to do fusion and they're going to deliver it via the grid is idiotic. That's not what this is. What they are suggesting in this document is that they need scientists to develop AI tools to make a plan on how to deliver fusion energy via the existing electrical grid. That makes no sense. That is not a thing we can do. It would be like if the US government sent out a call for proposals on building a docking station for the moon base. We don't have a moon base. It's a little premature to get the captains of industry involved. It is an economically unusable form of energy at the moment. Why would we focus on delivery of this unusable thing? P.S. Would a regime actually interested in delivering energy to their constituents in like a cheap, safe, easy manner have cut all of the research that goes into renewable energy? Would they have destroyed all the renewable energy subsidies that had been put in place by the previous administration, had been lowering the cost of energy across the nation? Would they have just canceled that? Would they have started a senseless war in Iran, which not only causing massive deaths that are now on all of our conscience as Americans, but also raising the price of gas to like $6 a gallon? Would they have done that? I'm supposed to believe that this administration cares about energy. Sure. Anyway, Have I mentioned the timelines of these proposals? Mid-March 2026, call for proposal due end of April 2026, 6 weeks. 6 weeks to write a proposal for a new funding opportunity you've never heard about. Do they have the website prepared with documentation on how they want the proposals written for the initiative? No. Do they have an example proposal? Do they have the requirements listed? Do they have emails for each of the 26 things for the specific funding officer that you can contact? No. 6 weeks to write a proposal, you have no information. Go. The government was basically informing these scientists who are currently on government grants, like, hey, if you ever want to do fundamental nuclear physics research again, you are only going to be allowed to be funded through this project. All of your NSF funding for current proposals that you have submitted will be rejected. The only way for your lab to continue, for your life's work to continue, for your graduate students to continue to eat is if you successfully make a proposal for this. Because the Genesis mission is actually a restructuring of how science is done in America. It's a restructuring of who's allowed to do what and where. And if you look at these 26 projects, the things they're saying, this is now the only place in America to get government funding for these things, they are so broad. It's basically all of fundamental physics research, all of nuclear particle theory, all of like weather modeling, all of nuclear engineering, just so many things, all of which they are now saying NSF, DOE, NIST, none of these funding institutions will fund you in any other way than under the Genesis mission with an AI-driven approach to delivering products. Write this grant in 6 weeks and hope it gets approved. Shove some AI into it because otherwise your lab's closed. All of the NSF grants that they spent months writing and have already submitted will never be approved, and they have 6 weeks to write this. How do you write a proposal for this?